Good morning. This is a recording for Monday, April 8th. Today we will continue discussing barriers to empathy. We already talked about sympathy seeking, stacking the deck, which means trumping somebody's experience with an even quote unquote worse story, at leasting someone when they tell their story. For example, if somebody says, I had a miscarriage, a dismissive at least thing would be to say, well, at least you know you can get pregnant. We also talked that one of the barriers for empathy could be shutting ourselves down completely when we think we don't and can never understand the experience of another human being. Maybe it's related to racism or sexism or sexual abuse. Well, whatever it is, we simply haven't been in such situations, so we think it's easier to distance ourselves than to dig deep within ourselves for empathy. Today, let's look at yet another barrier to being empathic. It centers around our beliefs about shame. If we believe that shame is a constructive emotion, we might not be interested in being empathic at all. We might listen to someone's experience and think, well, but you should feel ashamed. Apparently, there is a small group of researchers who actually believe that shame has both negative and positive consequences. They distinguish between healthy shame and toxic shame. They contend that the positive consequence of shame is its ability to serve as a compass for moral behavior. They believe that shame keeps us in line, so to speak. Brené Brown says she was skeptical about this concept, but decided to be open-minded in her own shame research and willing to let the data speak for itself. Lo and behold, it didn't take very long for her to reach the conclusion that there is nothing positive about shame. In any form, in any context, and through any delivery system, shame is destructive, she says. The idea that there are two types, healthy and toxic shame, was not confirmed by her research at all. And besides Brené Brown, now there is a growing body of evidence against the healthy aspects of shame. One of the most comprehensive books on shame is titled Shame and Guilt by June Price Tangney and Rhonda L. Deering. I'll post the name if you're interested. In this book, they have a section entitled Does Shame Serve Any Adaptive Function? And this is what they write. Whereas any moral goals centered on reducing potentially lethal aggression, clarifying social rank, and enhancing conformity to social norms before, modern morality centers on the ability to acknowledge one's wrongdoing, accept responsibility, and take reparative action. In this sense, guilt may be the moral emotion of the new millennium, not shame. It is important to know, though, that even though guilt may be a productive emotion, that it may actually serve a morally adaptive function, this is not a call to raise guilt-prone kids. More than anything, all this research seriously calls into question shame's ability to produce good behavior. It simply cannot. When we start to explore the concept that all shame is destructive, Brené Brown writes, it really forces us to re-evaluate how we use shame to parent, how we use shame to fight with partners, and on a community and societal level, how we use shame to punish. In a world that still falls back on you should be ashamed of yourself, or shame on you, or have you no shame, the time has come to explore the possibility that we are actually safer in a world where people are not mired by shame. Brené Brown writes, to help you think about these concepts, I invite you to compare the following two approaches to working with men who batter their partners. In Harriet Lerner's book, The Dance of Connection, she tells a story about Ron, a man who punches his wife, Sharon, in the face and stomach, and Ron is forced to attend court-ordered therapy sessions for that. Ron resists being in a group of batterers, but is willing and even interested in joining a group of men who have trouble controlling their anger. Dr. Lerner writes, Ron was resisting the notion that his crime defined him. You might argue that Ron is a batterer, and that any language that softens or obscures this fact leaves him less accountable for his actions. But Ron will be more likely to accept responsibility and feel remorse if he can view himself as more than a batterer. For people to look squarely at their harmful actions and to become genuinely accountable for their behavior, they must have a platform of self-worth to stand on. Only from the vantage point of higher ground can people who commit harm can gain perspective. Only from there can they apologize and actually mean it. Dr. Lerner goes to explain that refusing to take on an identity defined by one's worst deeds is actually a healthy act of resistance. If Ron's identity as a person is equated with his violent acts, he won't accept any responsibility or access genuine feelings of sorrow and remorse, because to do so would threaten him with feelings of worthlessness. She concludes, we cannot survive when our identity is defined by or limited to our worst behavior. Every human must be able to view the self as complex and multidimensional. When this fact is obscured, people will wrap themselves in layers of denial in order to survive. How can we apologize for something we are rather than for something we did? And now let's contrast these thoughts on battering and the need for self-worth to the views of Judge Ted Poe. Judge Poe, a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, has received local and national attention for his shame and humiliation punishment of criminals. In two separate cases, Judge Poe ordered men who assaulted their wives to make public apologies in front of the family law courthouse in downtown Houston. The apologies were delivered in front of hundreds of downtown employees during the lunch hour. In an editorial piece written by Poe and published in the Houston Chronicle, Poe defends his actions by saying, "Let those who would beat their wives, steal their neighbor's property, and abuse children feel the sting of community's intolerance, hear their names on our lips, and pay the price in full view of the public. Shame on them, or shame on us. And Brené Brown says, now I leave you with these questions. If your husband was battering you, and he was forced to apologize on the steps of City Hall in front of hundreds of people, would you like to be the woman he comes home to after his day of public shaming? Given what we already know about shame and how it affects us, are we safer with him when he is in shame mode or when he is in repairing shame mode, like in Ron's case? Are we using shame as a punishment because we think it will foster real change in people? Or are we shaming others because it feels good to make people suffer when we are in fear, anger, or judgment? Wow, now that's powerful, isn't it? And I don't really know what kind of practice we could do around the subject today other than sending loving kindness in all directions, so that we all feel like we are not defined by our worst deeds, and that we are all having a chance to acknowledge our destructive behavior, whatever it may be, so that we all have a chance to have remorse about it, repair the situations when possible, and adapt our actions accordingly for the future interactions with people. So let's do a circle of loving kindness practice now. As always, take a comfortable position and take a few moments to settle. Settle in your body, in your heart, in your mind. Settle into this moment, right here, right now. Allowing your breath to be soft and natural, see if you can find some spaciousness in your breathing. Letting all the experiences of the present moment to flow through you as energy that they are, without struggle. As always, begin your loving kindness practice with a gentle reflection on the good within you and your wish to be happy. As you do this, scan your body and notice how this reflection affects your physical state, your breath. Soften from the inside out. And now start repeating after me, silently or out loud. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, protected. May I know that I am enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I know that I am not defined by my worst behavior. May I know that I always have a chance for remorse and redemption. May I touch deep, natural peace. Now imagine sitting in the center of a circle surrounded by all the members of our Mindful Morning Sangha. We will now send loving kindness to each of our fellow practitioners. And as you repeat the verse, also allow yourself to receive their kindness, their good wishes sent to you. Receive each other's loving kindness with gentle presence. You deserve it. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well in body and mind. May you feel loved, cared for, at ease. May you know that you are enough. May you touch deep, natural peace. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well in body and mind. May you know that you are not defined by your worst behavior. May you know that you always have a chance for remorse and redemption. May you touch deep, natural peace. With each phrase, you're offering each other a gift, and you're receiving a gift from each other. As always, as your attention wanders away from the circle, away from this practice, or if difficult feelings or memories arise, try to gently let go of them in the spirit of kindness and simply come back here again and again, as many times as needed. Remember, here there is no judgment, only compassion. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well in body and mind. May you feel loved, cared for, at ease. May you know that you are enough. May you touch deep, natural peace. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well in body and mind. May you know that you are not defined by your worst behavior. May you know that you always have a chance for remorse and redemption. May you touch deep, natural peace. And now let's extend our circle of loving kindness beyond our mindful morning Sangha, extend it in all directions, above and below us, on either side, front and back, including all human beings, so flawed and so beautiful at the same time. Each of us is capable of terrible things, and at times we follow the temptation to do those. So let's include all the people who steal, batter their partners, commit all sorts of crimes. Just like us, They are not defined by their worst deeds. Just like us, they too deserve the chance for remorse and redemption. May all humans be filled with loving kindness. May all humans be well in body and mind. May all humans feel loved, cared for, at ease. May all humans know they are enough. May all humans touch deep, natural peace. May all humans be filled with loving kindness. May all humans be well in body and mind. May all humans know that they are not defined by their worst behavior. May all humans know that they always have a chance for remorse and redemption. May all humans touch deep, natural peace. And now, as you gently let go of your practice, as always, scan your body. Notice what's going on for you right now, physically, emotionally, mentally. How are you really? As you go through your day today, I invite you to continue with this powerful and controversial reflection. What do you think about this controversy Brené Brown found in different research? Do you subscribe to the idea that there is healthy shame versus toxic shame? In other words, do you believe that we all need a little shame to keep us in line? Or do you agree with Brené Brown that in any form, in any context, and through any delivery system, shame is destructive? That's it. Whatever you find out is fine. Remember, there is no judgment. It's just an exploration. If you're inspired to share your discoveries, please do so in the comments to this video or in our private group, Mindful Morning Circle. Remember, your voice is very important. Your stories, your insights are very important for all of us. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a gorgeous day, and I will see you tomorrow.